Alright, what's up y'all, it's Lake2 here. As you can see by the title of today's video, we're here to ask, does Paris Trap actually counter the Mega Floette? So that's already a crazy thing to say, I know, right? But people have been complaining like crazy about this Pokemon right here. Mega Floette with Fairy Aura, boosting your Fairy type moves by 33%, 155 base special attack, 148 special defense, and then 102 speed as well, with Light of Ruin, which is like insane damage as a fairy move as well. Still gets Moonblast, Dazzling Gleam, so like there's a ton of versatility that you can run with this Pokemon, and then it only has 2 weaknesses defensively as well, where you hit it with Steel and Poison. Now, naturally, you know, Mega Gengar fits in pretty decent with this. It walls the attacks pretty decent because Mega Gengar has, you know, solid defense, special defense. Let's actually pull this up on Pokemon DB as well. So I know his bulk isn't good, right? It's only 95 special defense base with like, you know, 60 HP as well. However, faster and does pretty good damage considerably, but not quite capable of one-hit KOing even Mega Floette. So in my opinion, the best way to beat Mega Floette is not to try and run through the wall, but to sustain it until the wall falls down. So let's explain a little bit. So obviously, as you can see, you know, resist the fairy moves. I think Gengar can stand in the face of Floette pretty well, all things considered, if you ask me. We're going to have 2 different games of playing against this. And, you know, one where I didn't even know it was actually going to be any, like, meta or anything like that. It actually was the first game I played against it, and I didn't even know that it had Fairy Aura or that it was even considered that good in the first place either. But anyway, yeah, we got a lot of people complaining on Twitter and stuff, like, you know, pay to win Mon. I think the concern that a lot of people have with this Pokemon is that you have to, like, buy ZA, and then also like do some challenges in it or something like that. I don't even know what exactly like is the full process of, you know, getting the whole download of it and everything. But anyway, yeah, I mean, as you can see, I mean, the thing is too that like obviously they have already like pounded this team, so like I mean all that's left is a Mega Frostlass, and even still I must say, I mean this thing still lived the attack, all things considered. I mean I know Frostlass is like, you know, as Mega is still decently bulky as well, but anyway, yeah, I mean, we got all types of stuff, like the most, I had a tweet on my main account, that's like more 2K related stuff, that was kind of complaining about this community a little bit, of the whole, like, I don't know, there's so many people talking about the game's pay to win, this, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. They don't know half of it, bro. You guys don't know what a pay to win game is. If you're coming from 2K, I tell you what, like, and 2K is not even the pinnacle of a pay to win game, unless you're talking my team or something like that. But anyway, that is not the main concern we're talking about. We've got a lot of people talking about I'm putting Aegislash on every team, so I don't want to ever, you know, think about Sneasler or Floette. It's a valid point, and I actually wanted to put this tweet in the bookmarks for what I was talking about in the video, because I think that's the important thing, is understanding that counterplay is part of the video game at the end of the day. I mean, your dragon types are for the taking against like fairy types in general, obviously. But yeah, I mean, something like Kamo-O, if I see a Floette, I cannot bring Kamo-O. That's part of the VGC, is like, you know, I mean, you can bring 6 Mons as like a team, but if I see something that threatening, that's the whole like plus of playing only 4 people. I mean, I don't have to bring my absolute weakness that I have on my team. Anyway, yeah, as you can see, we got other people that were like climbing through the leaderboards with it, calling it broken, and to be fair, it is extremely powerful as well. And I'm not even here to say that, like, you know, people's teams should be able to deal with it, because, you know, things like the sun teams and the rain teams and stuff like that, you might not have built-in, you know, things to figure out how to deal with it. I mean, even, let's say, our Chaladon with no assault vest, now that it's not in the game, is probably getting mopped with the floor by that too. And it does suck for our Chaladon and rain teams and stuff like that. And then Mega Dragonite is getting, you know, dog walked by that as well. So anyway, yeah, then Joe Yu was also saying, please get Mega Floette out of this format. I've been getting jumped by flowers all day. And I think that's fair also to say that, like, this Pokemon is probably a little bit more overpowered than anything else in the format and probably should be taken out. But, I mean, hey, me speaking from someone using Mega Gengar, let me tell y'all what. I mean, I don't know. I think bro's pretty powerful too. And again, he can kind of stand in the face of Floette. Now, mine does not run a poison move. I believe that we can take the KOs on Floette even, you know, pretty doably with just Parrish and not needing to retool the whole team around it. If I ever did see a vision of needing it more though, I would consider. But yeah, all things considered, again, you know, pairing it with like a couple fake out mons that can fake out Floette on the first turn, set up Parrish, double protect, have something with like a pivot move as well that we still tank pretty decently on, like Blastoise or something like that, you know, if it's going to be a Dazzling Gleam or something like that where it's hidden spread. Yeah, I mean, realistically, dude, like, I don't know. We only have to take, I'll show you it in the gameplay here. We only have to take like one attack from Floette and then it's KO'd. It's done for. It's not brain dead, at least into the team that I have had built here. So let's go ahead and showcase it. If you guys want to see the team, I'll, you know, here, let's pull up the code again. I was able to do this on the last one. I am recording all of these though in one sitting, like all 3 vids for the day. So I don't know if there's something you guys need more than this to be able to trace the code over to get the exact team loadout that I have right now. All the, you know, EVs and, well, whatever you want to call them, training points or whatever. But yeah, and all the items that we have on them too. However, the gameplay might change a little bit. You might see things like even Sinistcha in the lineup or something like that against one of them. All right, so let's first show you my first example, or my first run of actually ending up seeing this Mega Floette in action. So I see Floette in the lineup. To be real with y'all, I didn't know it was something I was supposed to be threatened by. I see a freaking Charizard and Venusaur. I'm like, okay, here we go with another Sun team. So honestly, it's even a little bit of good misdirection to be running something like that, because this is a very intimidating team screen. I mean, we got Whimsicott threatening Tailwind and, like, you know, Prankster and all that stuff. We got the double Sun component right here with Venusaur and Charizard, and then we got like Intimidate and like Parting Shot to get away from my Parrish Trap as well, Garchomp, and then Mega Floette sitting in the back that I didn't even really know about. But yeah, this was very early in my runs. Like, this was not the same team I was running, you know, fast forward 2 days from now, or 2 days from the point that you're seeing this. Actually, more even like a day, I guess. Time's flying on this stuff, for sure. But anyway, we got Mousehold, Sinistcha, Altaria, Primarina, and then Incineroar, obviously paired along with Gengar too. So let's fast forward a little bit to where we actually have the team screen already figured out. I see this and I think that I just want to lead Altaria, and we will be doing that into what I thought was going to be the weather teams. Now, here's where we run into this, right? I'm like, ugh, okay, so double fairy type, we got Altaria in here. Absolutely not. Time to get out. So, all that considered though, I do still go for the Mega Evolve and Parrish Song. I really don't think I'm threatened by, and that's just how much of a joke this mon is, if we're being completely honest, into Gengar, specifically. So, anyway. You're going to go ahead and see, though, I was not familiar. Like, this is me going at it from, like, a noob's perspective of me not being familiar at all with Mega Floette's bag, what its stats even were. I didn't even know its ability. I didn't know it was Fairy Aura. And honestly, like I told y'all, coming into the game, I didn't know that it was going to be hitting the Mega Stone. I thought it was for sure going to be Charizard, seeing it was at the top of the screen with Venusaur, like every other, you know, Sun team is. So, anyway, we protect Altaria right here. Obviously, it's ripe for the taking for a fairy type move entirely. So, you know, paired with the Whimsicott Tailwind, that is definitely not ideal. But I am glad that I didn't play it extremely timid and like do absolutely nothing with Gengar on the turn. That would have sucked for sure. So anyway, you can see the Dazzling Gleam hits Gengar for about 51 HP. You know, a spread move that is doing, like, you know, all things considered, it's an 80 power move. Like, a Light of Ruin would do a lot of damage to Gengar, all things considered, to be fair. And if you pair it in with, like, let's say an Incineroar or something like that, it can be very threatening. I'll show you. I had like a casual game mode that I was playing where I was testing some other stuff. And also, actually, I think it was just more I was trying to snag my first win on there so I could get some VP easily off that. But now we're considering, where do we go with this, right? So Sinistcha could hop in there and heal Gengar up too. That low-key could be a really good win condition, all things considered, if I wanted to swap Sinistcha in. I kind of miss running with the Sinistcha. It's been so long, so many games I've played since I was running this team. But yeah, I think this is good value for sure, right? We have the Parrish Song going off right now. I'm going to be able to, like, you know, protect right now, get Gengar back to pretty much full HP, and he's not even going to have to take another hit for that matter at the current moment. Now, the problem with me doing this, and I didn't really think this through, is that I'm not going to have a way to pivot out that I normally would with, like, let's say Blastoise in the next gameplay you're going to see, or Primarina or something like that. So anyway, off the Protect and the Dazzling Gleam. This is going to do a ton to Sinistra, almost 120 HP. Now, still tanking that as a Sinistra off a Helping Hand as well, I think is still pretty good, all things considered. And you know, I could consider going for the sub right here. I'm going to have to do something realistically, and I don't really care to be attacking them. So I think I am going to go for the sub right here. What it's going to allow us to do is, if we wanted to, like, you know, do the sack, we could on the next turn. But also, what we could consider doing instead of hitting the sub is to just keep Gengar safe entirely, to, you know, not allow them to get away from this Shadow Tag. So I'm going to make a little bit of a hard read right here, and it's a little bit more risky. Again, I could have probably gone for the sub if I wanted to just, you know, do things safe and make sure that the Shadow Tag didn't leave, because then I could hit Protect next turn. But I'm getting a little greedy. I don't want Gengar to have to be gone from the Paris counter as well, and I also don't want to have to panic switch in or anything like that at the end either. So what we're gonna do is, I'm just hitting some random move. It doesn't matter what we hit with Sinistra. I hit Life Dew to cover for the fact that, like, if it didn't go for the KO on, you know, with a Dazzling Gleam right there, then I would at least heal Incineroar, and we'd figure it out from there. A little bit of a hard read, like I said, you know, but they've been spamming Helping Hand, Dazzling Gleam, or just Dazzling Gleam in general. So I allowed them to take the KO on Sinistra right there, and then we're gonna get back in with Gengar on the next turn, and now our Paris counter is completely gone, and we're gonna be able to double Protect, and boom, there goes Floette off, you know, doing a whopping 1 kill, right? So the crazy super boosted Mega Pokemon comes out here, and we're able to at least trade with it, for that matter, in Tailwind as well. So the double Protect right here is going to take 200% HP. Both of them are going to be gone. They got nothing they can do about it. Nothing to even be said. So I can just go ahead and fast forward right here, because they were taking a little while to get their turn in, obviously. But anyway, point being, as you can see, Protect, and then boom, they ended up actually using, this is a great play by them too, I must say. So something that you could do with Floette as well that is very threatening in Paris Song, and Paris Trap in general, I should say, is to use Light of Ruin when you end up knowing that you're going to be kind of cooked. Like, at that point, you got nothing to do as far as being able to play around it. It's kind of, like, terrible for you. So you might as well just send your, you know, Floette into the grave, pretty much, just doing 130, 140 power moves, whatever Light of Ruin was. The only time I've ever used it was in Rising Ruby with Love Disc. So, anyway, yeah, but as you can see, Tailwind goes out at perfect timing. They did get the Sun up. However, we did bring Altaria because of the Sun Team component that I thought they were going to be bringing anyway. So, yeah, they go into Charizard Venusaur right here. And what you're going to see me do, we could potentially, like, stay in with Incineroar, but I don't see any value in doing that. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to switch in Altaria to take the Sun away, and then it'll make it so I can guarantee get this Perish off. Because otherwise, the Chlorophyll Venusaur would probably outspeed my Gengar, and that's definitely not a good ball for me. So, yeah, as you can see, switch in, boom, get the Perish Song off first, and at this point, I don't think we have anything to worry about. I mean, I don't know, we got plenty of Mons in the back. Scorching Sand into Gengar is not ideal, but at this point, if Gengar gets KO'd, I really don't care, to be real with you. So, he even gets burnt for that matter too. I think they even do like a sleep powder into, okay, it was into Altaria, yeah, so I don't know, but either way, like I just told you, it really doesn't even matter. We can fast forward this a little bit. You're gonna see, like, you know, I start going for the Protects and stuff, and like switch Incineroar into the other slot, blah blah blah. We fast forward enough to the point where their Perish counter is gonna reach 0, and they're cooked, you know. So anyway, that is all for that game. Let's go ahead and pan over to the second one. But this one, like I said, was just me doing the casual battle, but I end up running into a Floette in the casual, bro. Like, come on, man. So this is the squad I was running. We only got the glimpse of the team intros for like a split second, so I'm glad I even did get that at all. But yeah, a very threatening team into mine. Like, we have King Gambit, who is like very threatening into Gengar. We got Rotom and Incineroar that threaten Volt Switch and Parting Shot. We got Garchomp that's threatening into Gengar as well. It's like everything on this screen threatens Gengar in my Perish Trap, but the one Mon that everybody's saying is the absolute demon of this game, I'm like, yes, please lead into my Gengar. Please bring Floette out here. It's like the only thing I want to see on the screen right now. So anyway, yeah, we end up going for the Gengar and Blastoise lead. I lead Blastoise just to be able to fake out and, you know, flip turn with whatever the heck comes out there. And then we also bring Incineroar and Kamo-O as well. So a bit of a different team than I normally bring. You know, we didn't bring Prim, we didn't bring Altaria or anything like that. But yeah, no weather means no Altaria typically, to be fair. So anyway, they go Floette, Incineroar. This is very, very threatening into Gengar. Now, I have to decide who are we going for here? And this is where me leading my own Incineroar would have been better, because I could have intimidated their Incin, and then it would have made it way easier to, like, you know, live something like Throat Chop or Darkest Lariat or whatever the case may be. But I know I can't get timid on this turn. So what I'm going to do instead, because I know my Blastoise is faster, because Blastoise has about, I think, 78 base speed, and Incineroar has like 60. So no world their Incineroar should ever be faster than my Blastoise. I'm going to go for the Fake Out right here. I want to get the Perish off. I want to make sure I minimize the amount of turns Floette and Incineroar can have out here together. And I should clarify, I more so mean I'm going for the Fake Out on Floette to save Blastoise's life. I want to keep him out here. I want to have that flip turn available, because I know on the next turn after I do this Perish plus Fake Out, I'm going to want to get Blastoise out, or, you know, technically speaking, after a double protect, you know, in between those. So anyway, what's going to happen? We're going to Mega right here. We're going to be clicking the Perish, and then Blastoise is going to be faking out Floette. Floette's going to do nothing on the current turn. So let's keep track of what Floette's able to do into this team right now. Now, to be fair, they even protect Floette. So if I would have faked out Incin, that would have been a huge play. Absolutely huge. Like, that's probably a game winner already at that point, because as you're going to see, you know, Incineroar can threaten pretty good damage into Gengar. Now, with the bulk that I have on Gengar of investing into his HP, I have seen that I'm able to live, like I said, a lot of Darkest Lariats and a lot of, you know, Throat Chops and stuff like that as well. The thing about Throat Chop, I believe, is that it actually will disable the Perish song, potentially. I know it at least makes it so Hyper Voice doesn't work, but yeah, I don't know. I could be BSing with the whole Perish song thing, but to be fair, I've never really got hit by that, because Gengar obviously always goes first. So what you're going to see me do on this turn, I'm actually going to go with a Life Dew instead. So I go Protect plus Life Dew, trying to keep Gengar a little bit more preserved. So instead of doing the double Protect to, like, let's say, protect Blastoise's life, I'm going to have Blastoise kind of put his life on the line a little bit more here, and in an effort to protect Gengar, because we have no idea what's going to be in the back, and I might need Gengar to actually get the job done a little bit more here too. So we're going to protect him to keep him safe. Very much so likely Incineroar going to be doing damage into Gengar, and then as you can see, a Dazzling Gleam. So Blastoise kind of eats it up decent, I would say. I mean, 60%, you know, or 60 HP, not the craziest thing, especially when you consider, boom, we Life Dew it back. That is literally 11 HP into Blastoise. I mean, that is not a problem at all. And that's just a neutral amount of damage from Fairy Aura, like, you know, 150 something base special attack, or 140, whatever the heck it is. I mean, it's not a concern at all. So again, we're gonna be able to easily, like, tank another one of those, and Incineroar doesn't threaten any damage into Blastoise either. So big man Blastoise is out here putting in work in this fight, because not only is he healing Gengar and faking out to preserve the Gengar, even though technically they protected, but even further than that, we're able to hit the flip turn, and to be fair, it's going to happen before Incineroar's turn, but I highly, highly doubt they're planning to do damage into Blastoise's slot with Incineroar, so I don't think this should be a problem. And as you can see, we kind of tank another one of these, and holy moly, that was a lot of damage on the flip turn, and it's, as you can see, because it was a crit, through the Intimidate for that matter even as well. But that was a lot of damage for a 60 power flip turn from a Blastoise. But anyway, into Gengar we go. As you can see, Flare Blitz into the Incineroar slot once again. I don't know if maybe they're just not rocking a dark type move, because obviously that's something that can happen with Incineroar. I mean, you run, let's say, Flare Blitz, Parting Shot, Fake Out, and then, you know, let's say you could run Protect, but not many people do typically, but I don't know. I mean, who knows how to go about that. But anyway, yeah, what you will see is they do have Parting Shot, because they try and get out on this turn of the Perish running out. So we kind of luck out in that sense, because if they could have got out, it would have been a little bit tough. But, you know, threatening all the damage that we just did into Incineroar, I don't even know if it's that big of a deal if he escapes, because I think we'd be able to just even KO him with like a Gengar Shadow Ball at this point, to be honest with you. So yeah, they're definitely down bad. And remind you, this Floette has done probably a total of, like, I don't know, 100 HP to my whole team, you know, if we consider that Life Dew was able to heal majority of that back as well. So if anything, Incineroar has done more damage into my team right now. So anyway, we double protect right here. We're able to preserve all the HP between the two of them, and then, you know, we're going to be able to simply just get through here with no damage at all, and they really don't have a whole lot they could have done. What would have been a big brain play, and what they probably should have done, if we're being completely honest, is parting shot into their own Floette. I've seen stuff like that before. I've even been doing it myself as well, because if you threaten protect very heavily, like I obviously am right there, yeah, the idea of maybe parting shotting your own Floette would be a really good idea if you want to take that little idea and, you know, write that down in your notes a little bit. So fortunately, we're able to stop them from escaping, though, because Rotom with his Volt Switch would have been threatening a lot of that as well, of being able to just be annoying, and they spam Volt Switch parting shot over and over again. I'd have to actually KO people rather than get the Perish off. But now obviously we're faster, and this is all Gengar needs to do anymore, is just simply hit the Perish before any of them can actually, you know, touch him at all. So even if we get KO'd by a Garchomp Earthquake right here, because obviously these two have great synergy sitting next to each other. I mean, this is like a meta nasty team that you're seeing, like Incin, Rotom, like Incineroar and Floette probably synergize with each other so well, with like Fake Out plus, you know, the Fairy Aura, like crazy amount of damage you can do into people. It just so happens we have a faster Fake Out with Blastoise on that turn, which benefited us a lot, and then also, you know, threatened them to do damage into us. But the reason I say this synergy is really good for each other too is, as you can see, I mean, you know, Garchomp with Earthquake doesn't actually even hit Rotom, so these two synergize perfectly with each other as well. So yeah, Rotom goes for the Hydro Pump into the slot that I believe at one point was Gengar, I think. Yeah, should be, I believe. I actually don't remember, to be honest. But anyway, we make it through the turn right there. Everything's all good. We could even go back into Incineroar and just get like a, you know, Intimidate into Garchomp, for instance. And then we also threaten Fake Out with him too. So if I'm not mistaken, because again, I lost track of what the... is this just... Yeah. Okay. I know what this is now. So, my bad. I was forgetting if Blastoise switched in for somebody there, if he was already in the slot, and he 100% switched in for Gengar. So, what we can do now, and as you can see, Blastoise is pretty low on his HP, only 25. What we did was, we're going Fake Out into Rotom with Blastoise, and then Fake Out into Garchomp with Incineroar, just in case. It's very likely that he has Rough Skin on his Garchomp, so we don't want to do, you know, the Fake Out with Blastoise into Garchomp to, you know, end up potentially KOing our own Blastoise. I think that would have been potentially KO range, but probably not. But hey, not that I planned around it, but man, the Fake Out into Garchomp to also pop the Citrus Berry, kind of swagging on him, but it doesn't even matter, fellas, because guess what? The double Fake Out allows us to set up for a double Protect on the next turn now, too. And then the counter is going to fall to 1. I don't even have anybody, you know, being threatened by the Perish at all. So, double Protect, even if we get double KO'd on the next turn by that Earthquake, Kama-O's sitting in the back ready to just hit Protect and win the game. So, it's already over. Whether he knows it or not, this is literally done for. And then, boom, there you go. He forfeits because he can understand what, you know, is going to happen after that. Even though it doesn't even matter who it would have been, because technically, yeah, Kama-O, anybody. It could have been a freaking level 5, I don't know, Zigzagoon or something like that, and still would have won the game as long as it had Protect. So, anyway, yeah, I mean, as you can see, I don't know, Floette, between 2 games that I've played against it, and I've recorded both of the games I played against it, it's a bit of a non-factor. Realistically, this has done nothing to me in 2 games. And if anything, its teammates have been extremely more threatening into Gengar. So, the fact that Gengar walls it pretty good, paired with like Sinistcha to heal, Blastoise that can sit next to Gengar and heal while also taking these Dazzling Gleams as well. I don't know. I mean, I don't really think this was such a big deal. Now, I think as people develop their playstyle, they will probably click much more Light of Ruins on Floette if they can see the future of just the fact that, like, they've been walled and they really can't, like, get out unless they, like, snag the kill first. So to just go out kamikaze style with Floette would be much more effective than to do it, like, slow and bad, if you get what I'm saying. Like, if you end with 100% HP on Floette when you're being Perish trapped, you probably didn't do it right, if you get what I'm saying, especially if you have Light of Ruin. But anyway, I state my case that, like, I really do think this team can actually deal with Floette very, very well, while also dealing with rain teams, while also just being good in general into people that don't have switch moves like parting shot and stuff like that. And then I even still have Kamo-O in the back, so that if we do have to, deal with Incineroar being, able to switch out and then he ends up later toward the end of the fight, it is what it is, because Kamo-O just wins that 1v1 every time. So I feel like I have fine-tuned this team to an elite level. And yeah, we are still trying to find the final form of it. I really don't know. I believe in my heart of hearts that Gengar needs to stay on the squad, Altaria needs to stay on the squad, Incineroar and Blastoise do for the sake of their fake out parting shot and fake out flip turn value, and then also that Blastoise can heal with Life Dew, that Incineroar can get Intimidates as well. He covers for my weakness to Farigiraf on the team. Kamo-O covers for my weakness to the rock teams and like dark teams and stuff like that, and just in general dark types at all that Gengar struggles with. So the only person that's here that like could consider not being here, in my opinion, is Primarina, but to still give like Paris Song value and Flip Turn and Hyper Voice and stuff like that, I think is still pretty good. It's just that it's probably the weakest link on the team, and if anybody's gonna get replaced, it will probably be Prim. I'm glad I found Blastoise, because I really do think this is a great fit for the squad. He's good like bulk across the board too. Prim's a little bit more like invested just into Special D as far as its base stats go, but yeah, like Blastoise has much more physical defense than Primarina does. And also, I think Pure Water type is probably just a better type defensively than Water Fairy. It adds like the poison weakness that I really don't think is a great deal. And, adds obviously like Steel that would become neutral damage rather than resist. I don't know. Like, all in all, I think Pure Water is just a better defensive type to kind of wall people off. So yeah, we've talked about this plenty of like who are the other options we could bring and stuff like that, but you can listen to that yap in a different video, whether it's Sinistcha, Mousehold, Palafin, Zoroark, Meowscarada. I don't think any of them really provide better value though than Prim. We'll have to maybe keep doing a deep dive, looking even more to see if there's anybody else that provides good value. Hey, I thought Ditto, maybe, but I don't know. I mean, Choice Scarf is in the game for that matter too, so he could kind of counter into, like, imagine I send out a Ditto against a Mega Floette, while having a Mega Gengar on my team. I'm just saying, like it could be something we just kind of keep in the back and get ready to just send them out against some behemoth or something like that. But I don't know. It's a little gimmicky, to be fair, but. Anyway, we'll figure some stuff out. I've still been labbing a lot. I was looking at Chimecho. Oh my god, I saw him on the national decks on Cerebi, or not Cerebi, but on Showdown, because I was looking through movesets and I didn't know if I wanted to pick up Chimecho when I saw him in my little recruiting thing. And he had Paris Song at one point in Pokemon, but I guess they took it away from him. But man, he could have had some really cool bag. He had like Skill Swap, Ally Switch, Paris Song. Could have had Protect. He has Light Screen, Reflect, Levitate as an ability. So if he skill swapped with Gengar, he would switch Levitate over to Gengar and then have Shadow Tag himself. Klefki we've talked about as well with like Fairy Lock and Rain Dance in the Sun teams. Could be cool considering he resists Venusaur, his every thought pretty much. Maybe Meowstic I could look into a little bit too. I think I already did though, and I don't think it's looking that great to be fair. But anyway, yeah. Gonna keep labbing, gonna keep looking. So anyway, that's all the video. I hope you enjoyed. This is a triple upload day of 3 gameplays. I will probably resume doing the deep dives on some specific mons moving forward, and I'll go back to like 1 gameplay a day probably. It'll probably be again back to what we did on day 1, where it's like 1 gameplay, 2 Pokemon breakdowns, how we did with Dragonite and Aegislash. But today I had a lot of gameplay stacked up, so I wanted to just drop all 3 of them, and I hope they did well, but I can't know that right now obviously, so we shall see. But anyway, if you're watching to this point in the video and you want to show your support that you made it all the way to the end, put Blastoise in the comments, show your support you made it through. Shout out to my boy, man. I'm happy to have him on this squad right now. I tell you what, he's been a game changer, and him and Incineroar together are just like the absolute pivot beasts who just synergize with each other so well on the switch-ins for each other too, or like into Gengar slots as well. So I don't know, we found a really good core between all of them. So anyway, that's all. I appreciate y'all for watching, and stay tuned for more videos coming soon. Other than that, take it easy, man. Peace.